Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you something slightly different. It doesn't look amazing at this angle. If I tip it, it won't look as good. So what I'm actually going to do is flip my camera. I'm hoping this will work okay. Oh, but it won't because it's not going to tip that way. Okay. What I shall do then is try and lie it down as best I can for you to see. Basically, I'm doing a vase of flowers, except it's not a vase, it's a really pretty jam jar that I've recycled. So it's been through the dishwasher a couple of times and it's nice and clean and sterile. I've wrapped some of the beautiful metallic edged ribbon around the top, and I've used the new flower stamp that is in Beautiful Day, and I've coloured them with the beautiful new brushes. I can't flip the lid properly because the pins are in there. But yeah, so I've coloured them in with the brushes, watercoloured them in. I've added a stem, which is just some always artichoke, just 1 centimetre wide. And I've generated this little vase of flowers. Now I don't know about you, but I love flowers. I don't love changing the water all the time. I don't love the fact that they die after a while and you've then got nothing left. So I thought, well, you know, I remember I did one similar for my mum to give as a friend using Delightful Daisy, and that one is beautiful. And I thought, well, I'm sure there's something similar I can do with this one, because this is such a lovely large flower and the stamp is a real good size too. So I thought, well, yeah, why not? Let's have a go at doing something like that. And I actually quite like that, and I think that looks really pretty sat on my desk. You have to fiddle with the flowers a little bit to rearrange them, but I think they look lovely. So I shall show you how I did it, and it's really simple. So I've got some of the watercolour cardstock here. I've got, as I said, the flower from Beautiful Day. You could even do a butterfly and add it on some wire and hang it from the back, maybe. I don't know. As I always say, it's your imagination. So I have the stamp. I have just a normal archival black ink, and there are so many different techniques with using the brusho. I'm only showing you one today, but obviously, you know, you can choose to do whichever you want. I need 2 of these, which I'm just going to stamp on here. Perfecto. Just move that out of the way. In fact, I'm going to give that a quick clean, because with it being the black, I don't want it to stain my stamp. So just give that a quick clean. Got everything on my pad. There we go, that's nice and clean. So I have my 2 flowers. So the 2 that I need don't need the leaves doing. When I did do them, and I will show you, so I'll bring in one of the red ones that I've done with the brusho, and this is one of the blue ones. Now I think that they are equally beautiful. I think I have to tend to lean towards the red because red is my favourite colour anyway. But as you can see, when I've done the leaves, I've just used the brusho, the green brusho on that one as well. So it's just the same. So, brushos. As I'm sure you've watched the videos and tutorials from Stampin' Up, I'm not going to tell you anything different. I simply used my piercing tool to pierce 1 hole in the top, and then I just used these pins just to keep the lid sealed, so that no air gets in. I don't know if there's any damage, but that's what Stampin' Up advise, so I'm going to stick with it because they clearly know better than me. So you need a clear block for the technique I'm doing, and I'm using gamboge, which is the orange colour, just for the centre of the flower, and already it's popping everywhere. And I simply need to just shake like a salt shaker some out, and that is all I need. A tiny, tiny amount, because I'm only doing the flower centre. You need some kitchen towel and your aqua painter, and I'm only going to use 1 drop of water on that one, and just pick that colour up trying to catch all of the brusho in there, just adding that 1 drop of water, picking up the colour, and then just watercolouring the centre of my flower. And that's all I'm doing with that one. And I'm just sort of dotting it because it gives a bit of a darker colour. So clean my aqua painter, clean my clear block, and I also wipe off from my grid paper too. So next I need the blue. Now what I did notice with the blue one is that when I did the first couple, they came out really quite dark. They don't actually look too bad on camera. And then I did some others that came out a touch lighter. I don't really know why and don't know what the difference is, but we'll see as we go along. I think it was as the colour got less intense. So again, same with the blue, but we're doing 2 flowers, so I'm adding a touch more. Again, that's all you need. Grabbing my aqua painter again, and exactly the same, and I add 2 drops of water to this one just because it's a larger area and because it's a darker and more intense colour. So again, just dragging all of that brusho off the edge in, and I'm actually going to add a couple more drops of water because that is really quite intense. Use your clear block and then just simply colour it in. Now you don't need to worry too much about going outside the lines because we're going to be cutting them out, and yes, I'm afraid it is fussy cutting. And you just simply paint as you would if you were using your ink pad. Just get that colour on there. So that's that one done, and you can see why it's so dark, but obviously the thinner you get with your ink and your brusho, the lighter the colour you'll get. And it's really simple. And as you know, these are available in the Spring Summer catalogue, which has only just been released, and I must admit I am totally in love with all of it. I would just quite happily buy the whole catalogue because I know I would use everything in it, but obviously that would be silly. So there we have it. So again, just washing my aqua painter. That's nice and clean. Wiping my block, and then give my grid paper a quick wipe. Okay, so I'm going to give those just a second or two to dry while I show you the other bits that I've done. So I've done 4 of the flowers with the leaves, and no, I haven't. Oh, that's why I didn't need to do 2. I didn't see that, what he was hiding. So I've got 4 of my non-leaves and 4 leaves. I have my stems, which is always artichoke, and these are literally the width of a sheet of A4 cardstock and just 1 centimetre wide. Those are for the long ones. Now I have doubled these up, so I've taken 2 strips, double-sided tear and tape in the centre, and then stuck one on top of the other. I think you can probably see actually better on that one that didn't line up too well. So so they're double thickness because these were quite heavy with the watercolour on as well. It was starting to bend them, so I used the double strips. I then have 4 smaller ones, which again are still 1 centimetre wide, but these are only 6 inches in length. And then I have one that's just a fraction shorter. This one is just 5 inches, and this is for that sort of half one that sits right at the very front and just hides all those stems. So I'll put these out of the way just for the moment. I also have another jam jar, and like I said, this one is just another one that's been put through the dishwasher and cleaned and sterilised. So I'm going to pop some of my metallic. Do you know what? I'm going to not use this one. I'm going to, oops, I'm going to put it down before it rolls off the table. Oops, I'm going to have a go. Yes, I'm going to use the Berry Burst metallic edged because this is so pretty, and this is also in the new catalogue. So just simply pop it round the neck of the bottle. And like I said, I did this with the Delightful Daisy and the Daisy Punch, and just made some pretty flowers. And I actually used some garden wire for that one, and stapled it to the back of my daisies, and they did actually look really pretty, and the recipient was very pleased with them. And I used one of these jam jars, the same then. If you're from the UK, you'll know that these are Hartley jam jars, or should I say from Hartley's Jam. I'm not sure where the other one was from, but that's really pretty. So cut some tails off because I don't need them to be that long. So there's my ribbon, so I'm going to just stand that there. So I've got my long stems here, and my snail was hiding, and I'm just simply use snail, and I just add some to the top of the stem and stick the flower on. Simple as that. Just add some snail. You probably could use fuse if you wanted to guarantee it was going to stick and stay stuck. The other ones I have made earlier today, and they are still sticking absolutely fine. But if you're more confident, then just use the fuse or tear and tape, anything really. So those are my long ones done. And then I have my shorter ones here without the flowers. And the same applies to these. You just simply stick some snail on the top. And what I generally did with these was I stuck two just sort of where my snail ended. So it's sort of at that point. And then these two I added just a fraction further down, just so that it gives you a different height to the flowers really when they're in that vase. So bring my vase back in again, and this isn't going to be very easy to do standing up, I'm afraid, but obviously you'll see the pictures on my blog, etc. anyway. But just pop your flowers in. This one's going to be slightly different because the neck isn't as big as this one. So let's take one of those long ones out, and then I'm going to pop those two in, and then that, I don't know if I need that many actually. Take that one out. So now this has had a moment to dry, I'm going to go with this one I think. And we just simply need to fussy cut him out. Now again, the fabulous thing about this flower is that it has a really thick border. So you can actually cut round it fairly quickly, as you can see I'm doing. You're still staying within that thick line. And then you can just whiz round it as quickly as this. And like I said, all of the products that I've used are on my blog. The link for that's just below. So there's your cutout flower, which was how I've made all the others. But for this one, I just wanted one, or should I say for the other one, for my red one, I wanted one that was going to sit just a bit lower, because if not you could see all of the stems there. So I thought if I just have that one a bit lower, it just hides those stems as it sits. Now this one doesn't seem so bad. I don't know if I need to put in these extra flowers or whether it might appear too overcrowded. May not be too bad actually. But for this one I'm going to need a very small flower to sit at the front, and I can already see that I'm going to go for this bit here. So I'm going to cut around the inner leaves here. And obviously if you wanted to decide to do this before you cut the actual flower out and saved yourself some time, then obviously you can. But I just wanted to show you how quick it was to cut the original flower out. So I'm just cutting a very small portion of this one out, and then just as simple as the others. Pop him on there, and he might need, oh no, maybe not. So all you need to do then is rearrange. You're probably better with a wider necked bottle because they seem to clump together on this one. This was ideal for the daisy one, not so ideal for this one, but you get the idea. So if I can lie them down, see if we can get them to sit where they should. In fact, let's put that reel there. Stop pin rolling. But you get the idea, and you can decorate these with anything you wish. Just add some flowers. You could add some more leaves. You could add anything really. But I think those look really nice, and I think I'm going to be keeping these, certainly this red one, in my window. To remind me when those days are miserable and it's cold that summer is on its way and that we do have some really pretty weather coming. But I actually think they're really nice, and it's dead cheap to make as well with your recycled jam jars. I hope you enjoyed my project today, and I hope to see you guys all again very soon. Take care, bye!